Hello, and a warm welcome to the Learning Disability Wales Conference 2021. We Can Work It Out. My name's Heather Graham, and I work for Gig Buddies Cymru North. Gig Buddies is a befriending scheme that helps people with adults with a learning disability and/or autism to be paired up with a volunteer to go to events and gigs together. And today's conference is called We Can Work It Out. We're going to hear from a few speakers today about how we can what organisations are out there and how they can help people with a learning disability get into the world of work. Okay, our first speaker is Angela Kelvin. Over to you, Angela.
Thank you, Heather. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. It's lovely to see so many of you joining our annual conference session this morning on supporting to work. At Learning Disability Wales, we believe that everyone has a right to have a paid job. And we want Wales to be a place where everyone who wants a job has a paid job. We know that prior to COVID-19, only 6% of people with a learning disability in Wales had a job, and that this has dropped since then to 5%. Our theme this year is employment. Those of you who've attended sessions before over the last 2 days will have heard that, in their own words, people with a learning disability have a right to have the life that everyone else has, should be listened to and heard, should be respected and valued, are a good asset in the workplace, and can contribute to society given the chance. Their capabilities are underestimated, employers overlook them, and too many people think they can only do voluntary work and basic jobs. We've also heard positive stories where people have gained paid employment that makes them feel happy, more confident, proud, excited, independent, part of a team, that they're helping other people have a sense of identity, have made new friends, and have better well-being. We know, and there is research-based evidence to show that given the right support tailored to their wants and needs, that people with a learning disability can achieve their goals, get a paid job, and a career. However, young people have told us that no one ever asked them what job they would like to do when they were old enough to work. Employment wasn't even a consideration, and they weren't given the opportunity for work experience while in school. We want to make sure that young people can make informed choices and aware of options such as traineeships, internships, apprenticeships, and employment. Together with Engage to Change partners, we're working with Welsh Government to influence policy and pathways to work. We want to ensure that job coach support is available to those who need it, and that large employers such as health boards and local authorities lead the way in becoming inclusive employers and commit to providing jobs for people with a learning disability. This morning, we're going to hear about support that is currently available, and also from some young people who've received that support. Just one more thing before I hand you back to Heather. Learning Disability Wales annual report is now available on our website, and one of my colleagues will put the link in the chat for you to access that. So I hope you enjoy the session this morning, and thanks very much for attending. Thank you. Back to you, Heather.
Thank you very much for that, Angela. You did a fantastic job. Just to let you know, if you're on Twitter, if you could use the hashtag We Can Work It Out LDW, and you can chat about this conference there. That's hashtag We Can Work It Out. Our next two speakers are Geraint Jones-Griffiths and Thomas. They're going to be speaking from the organisation Engage to Change. Over to you, Geraint and Thomas.
Diolch. Thank you, Heather, for the introduction. And a major thank you to everyone for attending this morning. It's great to see so many of you here this morning. I'm going to be speaking about the Engage to Change project. So, as I mentioned, Engage to Change, the project partners have asked me to do the job to speak about the project. I will speak about who I am and what I do on Engage to Change. So, first of all, my name is Geraint. The thing about me is that I'm autistic. I was diagnosed with autism back in 2006, 2007 period, and I am the lead ambassador for the project. My job is talking to young people and to employers about Engage to Change. Reason why I talk a lot is because I got the biggest mouth on the project, so that's why I do most of the talking. So first thing you may ask, what exactly is Engage to Change? Well, Engage to Change is a project working across the whole of Wales to support young people aged between 16 to 25 who have a learning difficulty, a learning disability, and or with autism to achieve their full potential. We use a person-centered plan approach. Engage Change works closely with young people, their parents and carers and employers to, as you can see on your screen, to overcome barriers to employment, develop transferable skills, offer unpaid work experience, provide paid supported employment, find volunteering opportunities, and to offer access to supported internships and apprenticeships. The Engage Change project works in a partnership between the lead partner, which is Learning Disability Wales. Learning Disability Wales, as the lead partner, they do assets from, for example, referring young people to our project delivery partners, which I will come to in just a second. When we have our project meetings, they minute those meetings, and they also store our merchandise and our leaflets and etc. Agoriad Cwff is our delivery partner for North Wales. What we mean by delivery partners is that they work with the young person, the job coaches, and with the employers direct, and they are based in Mid and North Wales. Exactly the same with Elite Support Employment Agency, only that they are based in Mid Wales and South Wales. And then you have the National Centre of Mental Health in Cardiff University, the NCMH, as we sometimes abbreviate them to. Their role on the project is having the research and the statistics, for example, how many people we've got in employment, how many employers we work with, that kind of thing. Oh, and before I carry on, the project also works in collaboration with All Wales People First, DFN Project Search in America, Cincinnati, and we also work with colleges, local authorities, health boards, and employers right across Wales. Now, you may ask for your second question, Gavin, what exactly is supported employment? Well, I can tell you that supported employment is an evidence-based and individually tailored, personalized approach to support young people with learning disabilities and with autism into real jobs. The basis of supported employment is the belief that anyone can become employed if they are motivated, given the right job, and given the right support. Supported employment is a flexible and continuous process designed to give young people the support they need to enter and maintain employment. This includes helping disabled people have the support and adaptation they will need to work. So this is the supported employment model. We call this a flexible model which supports both employers and employees, and this consists of 5 main steps. The first step is client engagement. Then we have vocational profiling. Step 3, job finding. Step 4, employer engagement. And then finally, on and off job support. The supported employment model is usually carried out with the use of job coaches. Now, I mentioned the word job coach. What exactly do he or she do? Well, a job coach is a trained and qualified person who is employed to help people accommodate and perform their work duties. A job coach may work with individuals on a one-to-one basis or in a small group. In addition to working on skills related to performing specific job tasks, a job coach also helps with interpersonal skills necessary in the workplace. Job coaches work with individuals both in and outside of the workplace. Job coaches use a method called, no, it's quite a mouthful, Training in Systematic Instruction, or as we call it, TSI. This means when a job role or task is broken down into small steps, with the job coach initially demonstrating each to the young person being supported. The person being supported works their way through each step until they are fully confident to complete the whole task or job role. So for example, when I first joined the project in 2016, I was the project administrator. So when I first joined, we used this step-by-step guide with me. So for example, it would be turning on the computer, checking email, answer telephones, where is real specifically step-by-step. And then once I got more confidence, I could do the whole job efficiently, and it works best, in my opinion. Job coaches also benefit employers by supporting them to support their employees also. As you can see on the screen, Engage Change follows the support employment model and uses job coaches to support the delivery model. We kind of use this as a big, massive Egyptian pyramid, as you can see. Young people can be referred to Engage Change by agencies, for example, like Garita and Goliad. Family members or the young people can really refer themselves if they wish. Once the young person is referred to the project supported employment agencies, which is a Goliad and Elite, which I've just mentioned, they work with young people to get to know them and to talk to them about their goals and their support needs and explain the support that the project offers. If this is something that the young person would like to carry on ahead with, then the job coaches from Goliad and Elite carry out the vocational profiling to assess the skills and interests of the young person to explore the sorts of roles that they might be interested in. Together with the young person and their carers or careers, they will consider any benefits that the young person may be receiving and the impact that having paid work may have on their current income. This is what we call a better off in work calculation, just to round it up. Once a vocational profiling is complete, job coaches work with young people on interpersonal and employability skills to prepare them for work. This includes delivery of relevant accredited training courses related to employability skills and also independence such as travel training. In addition, courses needed for certain jobs such as food hygiene and manual handling are a must. The job coach supports the young person to do a job search, apply for a suitable job vacancy, and support them throughout the application process. So far, what are the outcomes of employment support? But just before I come on to that, the job coaches ensure that the job meets the needs of the individual, as well as ensuring that the employee will meet the needs of the employer. To support employers, the project can deliver disability awareness training, support to become disability confident, which, just in my opinion, is a fantastic scheme, and support them to make their recruitment processes more inclusive and accessible. The project can also help employers identify existing job tasks that could be created into one role. When it is time for a young person to start their work placement, a job coach can work alongside them, helping them to learn their new role and to identify any areas for improvement. The support provided by job coaches is tailored to fit the individual's needs. And finally, the end goal of the project is to support young people to find suitable, sustainable, paid employment and a career pathway, which is key. Now, next question, outcomes of supported employment. Well, what we have found so far is that there have been a number of outcomes that can be achieved through supported employment. And as you can see, these include real jobs where people can earn equitable wages or earn a real living wage and other employment-related benefits. The second is development of new skills, social and economic inclusion, promotion of self-determination, choice and independence, that one is my favorite, enhanced self-esteem, increased consumer empowerment, and finally, increased quality of life where young people are treated fairly and with respect in the workplace and in life. Next question, what are real jobs? Well, real jobs are where wages are paid at the going rate for the job with the same terms and conditions as any other employee. So in other words, they're all treated equally. The job also helps the young person to meet their life goals and aspirations. The role is valued by managers and colleagues. The job has similar hours and times at work as other employees with safe working conditions. We would now like to share with you a story of one of our participants, Thomas, and we really hope you enjoyed the film.
My name is Thomas Churchill. I am 24 years old and I am from the Rhondda Valleys. one of our very first interns on the Engage to Change Gateway to Employment programme. He was one of 10 interns that I was working with. From day one, Thomas's enthusiasm and commitment really shone through.
To be honest, it was the best course I started in the college then. I think that pushed me to the right mindset of work, because I didn't think there was jobs out there for somebody like myself with disability. But now I've seen different sectors take on like different people.
To do initially was really have a chat to find out exactly what his interests were, what type of work interested him, why that type of work interested him as well. So what happened is we identified that here in Anisarad Park would be a great opportunity for Thomas because he loved working in the outdoors. So my role was then to speak to the manager of the park, talk to them a little bit about the programme, mention Thomas, talk a bit about Thomas, and then bring the two together.
Where I am now is great for me because I'm outside, which I love, and at first I was very shy of coming in to an industry like this, but now it's like second nature. I was doing mainly gardening. That entails looking after all the beds, the ground, the grass, the plants. It's classed as a ranger, so I do cleaning, maintenance of the Lido. I do pool tests, check the salt or the chemicals, change the pool filters, and make sure everything's right in the buildings. She's coming in twice a week into Anisarad Park, just like temporary visits. Sometimes she'll only stay to help me do my coursework, then she'll go off site, and sometimes then she just might pop her head in, then go to another member. I can't read tidy or write, but that's one thing that I found helpful, so I can get my coursework done, but I can still do my jobs outside. But she gave me the chance to help me, and anything I'm struggling with, that's all I had to do is call her. It's like what Brent said to you, his door is open all the time. Even my colleagues, I go to them and they help me if I'm stuck or struggling. I know I don't ask for help sometimes, but they're always there if I need it. But luckily enough, I showed that much potential. I managed to get a job. It didn't matter to me if I didn't have a job or not. At least somebody put their trust in me and they gave me an opportunity. I've done my manual handling, my first aid, and I've got my last course is fire warden. Thomas really wanted to improve his reading and writing, and I was able to identify through our adult education department within the council, there was a community class that Thomas could attend. I am released every Friday to go and do my essential skills on my reading and writing, and I have got a task to write a poem for my fiance to give at our wedding. Yeah, it's something what I wanted to do for myself for ages, but I haven't had anybody, I haven't had no encouragement to help like what somebody have done for me. Now I've found multiple doors, and all of a sudden they've closed. But now I've just found one major key, which have opened like several doors in a matter of 3 to 4 months. I've had that much people having trust and focus with me and helping me become the person I am now. I am just so thankful for one major key of this person, and normally I don't have chances like this, but I am just so grateful for this one person for giving me this key of opportunity to open several doors in the last few months on like different aspects of courses, help, encouragement, and to open a door, so I feel like I'm not shy anymore. I get a feeling inside my stomach that I'm gonna do something positive today, which I'm thinking that I'm doing positive 90% of the time. For the last 10%, that's all I can try is my best, and I do that 110% a day.
And just like Thomas, he is just one of many hundreds of young people whose life has been positively impacted by the Engage to Change programme. In its 6 years of operation, the Engage to Change programme has supported hundreds of young people with learning disabilities and autism. And as a result of this, 303 young people have entered paid employment. 242 of young people have sustained employment for 13 weeks plus. 414 young people have had paid work placements for up to 6 months. 429 young people have gained accreditations, so that is such as courses that they are doing on the job as well. And 847 of young people have increased their employability skills. And for the final slide, as well as working with young people, Engage Change has also made an impact with employers, and we have supported them and raised awareness of the value of employing people with learning disabilities and autism, and that is where the Disability Confidence Scheme sometimes plays a part in, as well as I mentioned earlier. So as a total, where the employers are concerned, 526 of employers have improved knowledge and implemented improvements. 709 of employers are offering work preparation or unpaid placements. 383 of employers are providing paid placements, and 213 are providing sustainable employment for 13 weeks or more. If you'd like more details about the project, your contact details, I can ask one of our other colleagues to pass them on if you need be. There is a Q&A session at 11:20-ish. If there are any questions, I'm sure the project will be happy to answer them for you. Until then, I'm going to hand you back to Heather. Diolch yn fawr.
Thank you, Geraint and Thomas, for that. That was really interesting and inspirational. What an inspirational guy Thomas is. Next, we will be going to Sarah Sidman-Jones from the Vale of Glamorgan Council to see how they help people into work. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Hannah. So good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. My name's Sarah Sidman-Jones, and I'm a Day Service Manager for the Vale of Glamorgan Council. And I'd like to talk about the work partner organisations involved with the Joint Commissioning Strategy for Adults with Learning Disabilities are doing to support people to help them find work. The strategy was launched in 2019 by the Vale of Glamorgan and Cardiff Councils and Cardiff and Vale University Health Board. It's a 5-year plan with 4 main goals: to make sure that people can live in the best places, to listen to people, to make sure that services are the best they can be, and to develop services that last. And I'm the chair of the work stream responsible for work, volunteering and day opportunities. Together with representatives from a wide range of organisations, including charities, self-advocacy groups, health and local authorities, we meet to share ideas and make plans that offer people the chance to take part in lots of activities, work and volunteering that is right for their needs and easy to get involved with. Our goals are for people to learn new skills, be a part of their community and to feel valued. I'd like to showcase what we do to support people into work. We wanted to capture people's lived experiences and their journeys towards employment. Firstly, how we support them to work out what's important to them through listening to find out their goals and dreams. We can then support them to gain work experience by offering learning opportunities for new skill development. And finally, we look at work-based opportunities, initially as a volunteer with the longer-term aim of paid employment. Mirrors support people to think about how they want their life to be, recognising people have better lives when they are in control of their journey and are active members of their community. This video shows how, by using a person-centred approach where people are listened to, they identify and support people to achieve their employment goals and fulfil their dreams. I hand you over to Helen, Kerry and Karen, whose unique stories bring outcomes to life.
My name's Olivia, I'm a support worker here in Closs.
My name's Helen, I'm 20 and I live in Closs.
What are your sort of interests, Hal, for like work and your general interests?
Let's see, my interest would be mainly to work with animals, because I'm an animal lover, but if not, something to work with people. So something like, I don't know, like animal shelter, maybe cafe, whatever, everything get really.
So you'd say that you're sociable,
Yes.
you like being with people?
Yes, I do understand with big crowds though.
Yeah.
But it would be really good to work on that and also to work with people.
To grow your confidence?
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned before that you wanted to go into like hairdressing and
Yeah.
like self-care sort of things.
Yeah, because a lot of people say I'm good with my hands.
Yeah, have you thought any more about that?
A little bit, yeah. I'm thinking maybe to become a hairdresser apprentice maybe.
So what skills do you think you'd need for that job?
Patience, listening, good oracy, to make teas and coffees, know when you're needed and to be out of the way, stuff like that.
Yeah, good.
Practice, bug these lot, maybe ask around if anyone wants like any help, stuff like that.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
If I do get like a part-time job, to be patient with me, because sometimes I do get things wrong and I will get upset with it sometimes because I get frustrated. Explain to me how I've done it wrong and explain to me how to correct it, and just to speak slowly and clearly to me so I can understand the instructions, and just mainly be patient.
Kerry, I live in Closs,
Where have you worked?
in office.
Yeah.
I used to live in the research.
What did you like about working at the office? Making tea,
Drinking teas, biscuits, talk to people, meet them,
Do you like socialising?
socialising.
Yeah. Say you went into the office, what would you do on your day's work?
Training, answering the phone, yeah, helping staff.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Do you like the social side of it then?
Yeah,
Yeah. What sort of job would you look for now?
volunteer.
You want to volunteer? Because you used to. Where did you do volunteering before, Carrie?
Oh yeah, I was in the army.
And what did you do up there?
Morning.
You used to do it every week, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dinners and reserves.
That's nice. So you served all the food to
And I
everyone,
was
did
in
you?
the food.
Lovely.
Karen,
Your name's Karen?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Cass, so you've had lots of jobs, haven't you?
Yeah,
Where have you worked?
in the centres.
In the centres. Remember when you worked over the hub? Yeah. You used to help out all the staff over there, didn't you, Cal?
Yeah,
Would you like to get another job?
yeah,
Where to?
in the police station.
What would you like to do down there?
The guys.
Nick the bad guys.
I'll be on duty all the time.
Yeah. And you've done fundraisers before, haven't you?
Yeah,
And what did you do for him?
doing the flowers.
You did flower arranging?
Yeah,
Did you bake cakes?
yeah,
And you sold them all, didn't you?
yeah,
You made lots of money.
yeah,
And you said you want to do that again, don't you?
yeah,
Yeah?
in the summer now.
In the summer. Karen's really good at baking and flower arranging. So you want to do some volunteering and raise some money, Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Innovate Trust work with people in a very individual way to help them identify their strengths and abilities. This video shows how volunteering helps people gain important work skills and is good for their mental and physical well-being. To link with Innovate's Insight app, we see how co-producing virtual events has become another way of volunteering. In this digital world we now live in, it gives people another option, showing you don't need a face-to-face presence in the workplace, you can work from home. Here's Owen and Richie to talk about how Innovate Trust have connected them with others and supported them to develop new skills.
Where we are now is actually what we call the Secret Garden Project, which is a small non-public area of the museum up at St Fagans. The Secret Garden Project is to give opportunities for adults with learning disabilities to grow vegetables, to create wildlife habitats, and to learn more about employment skills like working as a team, attending on time. People love coming here, partly because it's St Fagans and everybody loves St Fagans, and partly because they know they're coming to somewhere that nobody else can access, so it's really special.
My name is Owen Thompson. I'm a volunteer at Innovate Trust, and here I work at the Secret Gardens project about doing conservation work and helping others to learn about conservation. I've been cutting back brambles here and planting new plants, think of ideas what to make it nice and colourful in this garden again. It gives me a massive opportunity to get involved with activities what I haven't actually done before and try new things out.
The wonderful thing about being in a garden and being outdoors generally is that it's so good for our minds and our bodies. Being outdoors, having a bit of sunshine and fresh air, but also being involved in tasks which give you something else to focus on and take your mind away from other things that might be troubling you or worrying you. We want to provide activities for people on a level that they can take most away from it. We want to provide a range of activities to support as many people as we can. So projects like the Secret Garden and resources like Insight are all based on this person-centred approach.
But Innovate, by surprise, they created this app called Insight. It's created by the group of Innovate Trust. They organise activities on there, different new projects to join. For me, I also do I do Tai Chi, take the class, and any other groups that keep me busy. And without all that, then I wouldn't ever get a chance to meet new people.
So Insight is Innovate Trust's secure social media platform. The adults we work with are quite vulnerable in many ways. So Insight was developed to provide a safe space for those people to meet new people. People can do anything from making seed balls for their garden to attending discos, film nights, sport activities, all online from their own homes.
I'm Richie. I've been using Insight since the start of the first lockdown. So I'll say at the beginning of March last year. At first I was not too sure with Insight, and now I volunteer for Innovate, doing participation and co-hosting. And
in the summer of 2020, I started working with Richie, but up till then he wouldn't attend activities because he was nervous about meeting people. But that virtual environment has given him another level of confidence. He can do it all from his own room. He doesn't need to go out and be in the same room as people, which he finds really difficult. But he's quite happy talking to 300 people on Insight.
It's helped with my confidence and my stability, and of not being shy, and it has helped my confidence tremendously, and I think Aaron would agree with me on that.
It's just really good that Innovate do that, and it gives us a chance to meet new people on the via Zoom, and get to have that sort of experience.
Our next video highlights the wonderful joined-up work of local authority support planners in the Vale of Glamorgan, who support people to have more choice in what they want to do, working with them towards a more meaningful community presence that adds to a sense of well-being and valued inclusion in society. Here's Amanda's story.
The support planners are part of the community support team in adult services. We support adults with a learning disability to meet their personal outcomes and goals across the Vale of Glamorgan. Following a referral from a social worker, we work on a one-to-one basis with the individual to find meaningful and creative ways to meet people's dreams and aspirations, and create and promote links within our communities. This can include exploring activities, day opportunities, or work and volunteer roles. Today we'd like to introduce and celebrate the success of Amanda.
Hi, what's up?
Amanda has recently moved into her first flat with the support from the Adult Placement Service. Amanda has been supported by APS and Innovate Trust to develop her independent living skills and work-ready skills, and is now ready for the next stage of her independence. Amanda's personal outcome was to find a paid job. Our role was to co-work to create a pathway to this goal, which began with gaining experience through volunteering. The support planners supported Amanda by making referrals to supported employment agencies, referrals to training providers, support to complete DBS checks, support to find and complete online training, support to meet the employer, and preparing for her first day. Amanda is now preparing for her first day and is busy getting organised, but agreed to share some of her experiences preparing for her new role.
Training with food hygiene, safety.
Yeah. And how did you do your training?
Computer. Wash your hand every time you wash your hand, touch the food, put a gloves on before you wash your hands, put a gloves on before you touch the food. You got a green uniform, a clean one, and a label and a hat. So otherwise your hair's going to food. How many getting paid money, get a job.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
We'd finally like to say a big thank you and good luck to Amanda. We know you'll do brilliantly.
I hope the videos have captured how working together using person-centred approaches provides stepping stones for people to progress into the world of paid work through listening to them, finding out what their goals and aspirations are, helping them to develop the skills they need to undertake the employment, and then reaching the end goal of people living valued lives as working members and active members of their own community. Thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you for that, Sarah. It was really informative and really inspirational.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Next, we're going to find out a bit from another local authority, Pembrokeshire County Council. Over to you, Karen Davis.
I'm Karen Davis. I am Programme Manager for Supported Employment at Pembrokeshire County Council. What that means is that I run and manage a number of different projects that provide support for people with a wide range of disabilities, not just learning disabilities and autism, but a wide range of disabilities to move into the workplace. And between me and some of the guys that I work with on video, we're going to show you a little bit about what we do in Pembrokeshire. We've already had a really great presentation explaining to us what supported employment is. For us as a local authority, as you can imagine, we employ lots of people, around 6,000 in Pembrokeshire. So supported employment is really important to ensure that we provide good opportunities for people who need extra support in work. It's not just about providing equipment, but it's about in-work support as well. And that might include mentoring, training, job coaching, in-work support of all types, communication and travel support. And we're providing that support to both the employee and the employer so that people can sustain the job that they're in. The programme that we're running at the moment currently employs over 65 people across a number of different areas within the local authority and seconded to other organisations in Pembrokeshire. There are 3 parts to our programme. The first part, and really important, is our employment support, and it's that part of the programme that provides the mentoring and the support to gain the work and the employer liaison so that the jobs can be successful. The second and probably the biggest part of the programme are our social enterprises, which provide a range of job roles from admin, social media, retail, working in a cafe, manufacturing, grounds maintenance, and even a sawmill. They provide the employment so that we can actually employ people in the right way. The final part of the programme are our partnerships. As a local authority, we don't really want to be providing all of the opportunities in Pembrokeshire. It's really important to us that they are provided not only within our social enterprise projects, but also wider across the local authority with our local authority partners, but also with our external partners. And we work with a number of different people to provide those opportunities. I'm going to just play a short video just from some of the guys that work for us, just to tell you why we do it, because it's really important that we understand that.
Well, it gives me like a sense of purpose, and I find that I'm actually able to contribute towards something and learn new skills.
Norman Industries gives me a very strong sense of community.
Being in supported work makes me feel less isolated, as I struggled to get work before due to my disabilities.
My workplace, I feel valued and respected, and everyone understands me when I need help with my learning disabilities.
Being in work makes me happy and confident.
Being in work gives me the opportunity to work with a variety of different people with different needs.
Being in work makes me feel proud and gives me the sense of independence.
Thank you to Daniel, James, Daniel, Kath, Sue-Ann, Jason and Sean for those comments. I think we've heard some of those comments already in some of the previous presentations, but I think it's really important for us to understand that being in work is really powerful for people, and it really does support our well-being and our sense of achievement and confidence. Our programme is based on the social model of disability and not the medical model. We aim to overcome the barriers that society puts in the way. So a simple example is a wheelchair user. They're not disabled because because they use a wheelchair, but because the door isn't wide enough or there isn't any ramp. Similar societal barriers are put in the way of people with a wide range of impairment and difference, including learning disability and autism, in getting, keeping and progressing in work. I think one of the things that always surprises me is around aspiration. As so-called normal people, we're expected to get a job. And I'm still regularly taken aback when I'm told that having a job can't possibly be an aspiration with someone with a learning disability or autism. Why would I even raise it as a possibility? Well, you're seeing pictures now of the people that some of the people that we work with, and the guys in the video that we've showed have told you why we do it and why it's important that people with learning disabilities and autism are able to have a job. The fundamental change that we want to make through our programme is in those aspirations that we give people. It's also about the way we design jobs and in our attitude to disability. But most importantly, it's about considering someone in the same way as we consider everybody else. So it's not about what they can't do, but it's about the skills and qualities, the same as any other person that we might employ. And that's the message that we're trying to get across the whole of the local authority, so that we employ people not just in our social enterprises, but in a wide variety of programmes across the authority. Our employability support is really important in that aim, and they're working with people across the authority, placing people in lots of different services. We've got somebody who's just recently started, for example, in our committee services, which is the department that looks after the councillors. The employability support, as we've heard before about supported employment, is providing mentoring, training and work experience, volunteering. It liaises with the employer and also helps us to put in place the right support, so with access to work and with the whole application and interview process. Is a really integral part of the programme that we offer, and we certainly couldn't do the supported employment programme without that part of the programme.
My name is Kath and I'm an admin assistant at Norman Industries. At first I felt nervous about starting a new job. I was nervous about having to ask for help, worried that people would be annoyed and think that I should know how to do things. Over the last 2 years, my confidence has grown and I'm really enjoying my job. The other staff are really nice and helpful. I'm not afraid to ask for help because I know that they understand my disabilities and focus on my abilities. The advice I would give to someone with a learning disability who is thinking about work: don't be afraid to ask for help and talk about your disability. I know it's difficult. I found that if you are honest about what you struggle with, talk about how you cope with situations and how you do things, your employer will help you.
Hi, my name is Sean Andrews and I have autism. I am an administrator with Pembrokeshire County Council at Norman Industries and in the Business Support Unit. I am also a web developer working on the Access Pembrokeshire website.
Right.
I was very excited to go into work and into Norman Industries in particular. I was really looking forward to try something I haven't done before. I really like admin work and I continue to learn new things. One thing that helps me in work is knowing who to ask for help. Sometimes the computer doesn't work, but I don't let this stop me. I keep calm, switch the computer off and on again, and get back to work. If it doesn't work, I always ask for help. if I could give one bit of advice to someone with learning difficulties thinking about work, it would be to show them what you can do and never give up.
Sorry, I hit the button a bit urgently and started those presentations, but I think it's Kath and Sian are two of the individuals that our employability support have supported, and they are a real advocate of work. Both are working across various different departments within the local authority, and have really shown how this programme can help and support people and allow them to progress in work. Both are employed for 16 hours a week on a standard employment contract. So they're full employers of Pembrokeshire County Council. And I think it's really important that that is what we're aiming for. I'm just going to play you another video now from Rachel, who is our LD champion for employability. And she's been very integral in the programme that we've developed, and is a really big advocate for employment for people with all disabilities.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a learning disability champion. In my job, I really like going out to events and getting the message across to people about what it means for people with disabilities and learning disabilities. Making a difference to society. That is what I'm trying to achieve. Working along with normal industries has given me a lot more confidence and more purpose. I have been trained in a step-by-step way, so I can put pieces of work together that I feel more confident in doing. Recently, Pembrokeshire County Council has become a disability confidence leader, which means recognising the work that I have done in supporting employment.
So Rachel just mentioned it there, that Pembrokeshire County Council is a disability confident leader. We were actually accredited back in, I think it was September 2018. We did think about just accrediting the supported employment programme, but Rachel and I had some conversations with HR, occupational health, and with the CEO at the time. And with a little arm twisting from Rachel, they agreed that we should actually become a leader as a whole local authority. For us, being a leader doesn't mean that we're setting examples in small pockets. So just in us social enterprises, for example, but it means inspiring and supporting others to do the same, both within the local authority and within our partner organisations. And that's the work that we've been doing over the last couple of years, all through COVID. One of the managers at the time that we became a disability confident leader, who was really skeptical about whether or not this would work from a local authority point of view, was our head of culture. And I'm going to show you a video in a minute, or run you a piece of run a piece in a minute of work from the that department, just to show you how far we've come in the last 2 years. just before I do that, I mentioned partnerships, and partnerships are really important to us. And we've got some really big partnerships developing. From a what next point of view, these partnerships are growing, and actually what we're looking at is really bringing the programme to people in schools, so that those aspirations of young people in schools are to have a job and not just to go into volunteering or to go into a day service. But going back to what cultural services are saying, and how the supported employment has changed for them. And I think it's a really interesting case from looking at it from the other side, because they were sceptics. They really didn't believe that supported employment was the right option. That we've done a lot of work with them over the last 2 years, and their view has completely changed. So you're going to hear from Mark Thomas, who is the museums manager for, at Skelton Manor.
The Supported Employment Programme has been a fantastic development at Skelton Manor over the last 6 years. The site has provided the programme with a diverse range of excellent and meaningful opportunities for everyone working on the scheme. In addition, it has provided exciting and innovative projects for people to engage with at the site, which have given the Supported Employment Programme has been a fantastic development at Skelton Manor over the last 6 years. The site has provided the programme with a diverse range of excellent and meaningful opportunities for everyone working on the scheme. In addition, it has provided exciting and innovative projects for people to engage with at the site, which have given those involved not just the experience, skills and knowledge to be gained in any good work environment, but also a wider social understanding of life and the well-being that comes from being part of a good team. For Skelton Manor itself, the Supported Employment Programme has been a catalyst for unlocking its considerable potential as a visitor attraction, while at the same time creating a community hub and great all-round country park at the heart of Pembrokeshire. Without the programme, this would have been difficult, if not impossible, to envisage. The full scope of the programme is demonstrated by the number of supported teams that currently operate at the site, including the running of the farm shop, tea room, timber mill and tree nursery, as well as assisting with the maintenance of the estate. The future for the Sustained Partnership promises more of the same and way beyond.
So as you can see, the partnership with Skelton has grown enormously, and that's what we're attempting to do across the whole of the local authority. Thank you for listening to me. My contact details are there if anybody wants to ask any questions.
I'll introduce the next speaker then. Thank you very much, Karen. Whilst Heather grapples with her technical difficulties, we're going to move on to our next speaker now, which is Gareth Jones. So welcome, Gareth.
I'm Gareth Jones. I work as an adult advisor with Work in Wales, Work in Wales is a special project within Careers Wales, and it's a project to work with adults 16 and over, as long as they're not in full-time education. So it could be people, it could be anybody really. It could be people in work, people not working, economically inactive people. My background is I've worked as a schools advisor before. I've worked in special schools for a few years. So I've worked, including an autism school in North Wales and all the regional centres. So I have some background in additional needs. So people in school have access to a career advisor in the school. We have centres across Wales, quite a few of them, most in each county. We strive to be accessible to all. We have hearing loops and reception. We're able to offer BSL interpreters. We offer telephone, video, as well as face-to-face or even text or email guidance. So at the moment, we've got limited sort of opening of our centres because of COVID. They were all closed for a while. And we've been offering booked appointments face-to-face. but we're hoping to increase the number, increase it so people can drop into our centres and book appointments. But obviously, that'll be dependent on COVID, because the figures are still, as you can appreciate, still quite high at the moment in Wales. So we're not quite sure what Mark Drakeford's going to do. There's a possibility he might introduce a fire break, so we might have to put that on hold. We also have in-house employability coaches who can help with CVs, job search and interview skills as well. So I think the sort of face-to-face appointments, some people prefer that face-to-face in a career centre. Certainly we found that people, for example, with autism might prefer a face-to-face appointment in a career centre than in a video appointment online or a telephone appointment. So that's why we try and offer a variety of services. Yeah, so we offer online tools like on our website, Careers Wales, careerswales.gov.wales, and we have things like a job matching quiz, which is where people can answer questions, and it will give you ideas of possible areas of interest for careers to research, which you can do at your own pace. We can also signpost to specialist organisations as well, which can offer a more intense support service. So we have various organisations, Communities for Work, in North Wales, we've got Work in Denbighshire, Morn CF. And what will happen, people are allocated like a caseworker if we do refer on to these organisations, and they have more, individuals can have more intensive sort of support really. And we can also look at exploring volunteering to gain skills, experience and confidence. With practical help with CVs and interviews. So we've got a couple of little clips here. Yep, just a few important things to remember there. With, excuse me, putting the CV together, and important to get somebody else to look at it. But employers only look at a CV for about 10 seconds. So it's really important that the CV is streamlined using bullets so employers can just glance at it. So really a CV is a marketing thing. So it's really just to kind of, to really enable to show your skills to an employer really quickly, really, so they can make that decision on whether to actually invite that person for an interview, really. So it's really important that these things are looked at, and we can help with that. We can use our employability coaches to actually help with that, help with the marketing. What I'm going to do now is see if we can look at the interview tips. There's just a few more tips on that, on interviews. Okay, and there's a link on there as well. This is somebody with, I think she has autism, and she's been fortunate to find a job in childcare. So if you can click on the link, please.
Ellie isn't learning about childcare in the classroom because she's already got her hands full on the job. Ellie has autism, but she hasn't let that get in the way of pursuing a career in childcare. Her lived-in experience of having additional learning needs meant she was the perfect candidate for an apprenticeship at Little Tigers Daycare. So instead of waiting to start a dream job, she's already getting paid to do it. If you want to find out what an apprenticeship can do for you, search Working Wales Apprenticeships.
And that's quite an interesting one. It focuses on, as previous speakers have mentioned, on ability rather than, social model than disability. And, obviously people with autism, a lot of them have got lots of skills really, for key, important skills that employers would value. Okay, we're going to move on to the next slide, please. Personal learning accounts. Okay, personal learning accounts are 3 courses for people who are 19 and over, who are in work and earn less than £29,500 a year. So it's a really good way of upskilling. The idea behind it is that people can, while they're working, take a course through which will help them with their career progression. And these courses are absolutely free, and they can be done at any college in Wales. So, some of them are online, which is great. So, you could be in North Wales and do a course that was offered in South Wales, which wasn't available in North Wales, or vice versa. So the only sort of thing to remember is you can't do 2 courses at the same time, but you can do more than 1 course. So, you can fit, once you've finished the first course, then you can go on to a second course. And it's a really good way of upskilling and providing career progression, really. So that's a really sort of positive thing, I think. Could we have the next slide, please, which should be React? Yeah. React funding. React is, again, it's a Welsh Government and European Union initiative for people who have lost their employment. It used to be solely for people who've been made redundant, but it's for anybody now who can prove that they've lost their employment, and they need the evidence for the scheme, which would be proof that they lost employment, anything with your date of birth, address, and your national insurance on. So if you lost your employment within the last 12 months, then it's possible to access up to £1,500 towards training, retraining to a different career possibly. And also there's £200 towards expenses. And there's also incentives through React scheme for employers to recruit in the private sector. So employers can get up to £3,000 towards wages in the first year, and also up to £1,000 towards on-the-job training as well. Again, both of these parts of the React program can't be done at the same time, but it's possible to apply for the training first and then go on and apply for the employer recruitment incentive jointly with the employer. So again, that's quite a useful one really for people who are looking to retrain, who have been unfortunate enough to lose their job. Okay, next one is access to work. Access to work is support actually while you're in a job to help you manage. So again, as you can see, it's equipment and clothing, could be transport, making changes around the hours, personal support. And we've got a few links there at the bottom really for access to work. So that's quite a useful one. Really to sort of help people stay in employment really. So people might be struggling a little bit, looking at options really for providing that additional support. So that's a useful one. Next slide, please, which should be Emily's story. There we go. And we scroll down. Can we scroll down a little bit? Okay. So it's really, that's somebody who's had difficulties. She's having a lot of problems with anxiety, but somebody's actually managed to turn the corner, really. And she's almost become like an ambassador, really. So, it just shows that, how people can turn the corner, really, and really sort of improve their self-confidence, well-being. So, next one is John. John is a guy who, from Pentwyn, was bullied at school. So again, quite a motivational one. He suffered from severe dyslexia and ADHD and Erlen's syndrome. But he's come through that now. He's managed to rejoin education in his 30s, and he's now working in quite a supportive role, really. So he's managed to overcome his barriers, and he's really, again, another really positive role model. Okay, these are how to contact us. We've got our number, 0800 number. We've got our Working Wales website. You can email us. We've got our career centres. So we're on Facebook and Twitter. What I would also say as well, on the Careers Wales website, we've got a section called My Future, which is specifically designed for people with additional learning difficulties. So we've got kind of easier text to read in large text. So there's things, so that's quite useful as well, really. So we've also got, apprenticeships opportunities are advertised on there on our website. Okay, that's about all I want to say today.
Thank you, Gareth, for that. It was a really good presentation. And now we're going to find out how the Access to Work organised by the District of Work and Pensions is going to, how that helps people. Over to Lorraine Davis.
And so, as Heather said, my name's Lorraine Davis. I'm a partnership manager, work for Department of Work and Pensions. And what we're going to look at is what is access to work, how it fits into the disability agenda, how it works for employees and employers, who can get the help and what sort of help is available. So access to work, it's a key element in the government's pledge to help more than 1 million people with a disability into employment by 2027. It can support people with a health condition or a disability and their employers, provides practical support and advice to help overcome barriers to work, and it can help people with all types of disabilities and health problems, whether it's physical, mental, sensory, hidden impairments such as autism and learning disabilities. Okay, so why does it work for employees and employers? So we know through research, Public Health Wales, etc., that people with a disability and those with health conditions can offer a great deal for an employer, but they may need extra help to make work possible for them. But when they are in work, they can bring a great deal to that employer and help them to retain employment, retain experience within the business, etc. So as some of the speakers before have mentioned, and we've heard from a lot of individuals there, that being in work can actually really help somebody with their health conditions and their mental wellness, well-being. Okay, so who can get help? So to be eligible, you need to be over the age of 16, have a disability or health condition that affects the ability to work, and be in or about to start paid employment. So we know that many people acquire their disability during their working lives. It could be the result of an illness, an injury, a developing condition, strokes, heart attacks, and also for a lot of people as we get a bit older, musculoskeletal conditions can lead to older workers leaving the world of work prematurely, and access to work can sometimes offer the support to help those people remain in employment. Okay, so what do we mean by work? So, as I mentioned, it needs to be paid employment or self-employment. We can provide support through access to work to attend a job interview or a work trial, work experience in some cases where that's been approved by the job centre, and also to access an apprenticeship or supported internship. I will need to stress at this point that access to work can't be used to support voluntary work, unfortunately. Okay, so what can access to work be used to pay for? So this is just some examples. So special equipment or adaptations in the workplace that are not covered by reasonable adjustments can be covered to help people with travel to work through taxis if they can't drive or use public transport. To provide a support worker within the workplace. And also you can get access to the mental health support service for people who are experiencing difficulties with wellbeing. There can be disability awareness training for work colleagues, and also help with communication and the cost of moving equipment. Just to say as well that the workplace, many of us at the moment are working from home or hybrid working mixture. If somebody is working from home, then they can get that support to help them to work from home as well. It doesn't have to be in the employer's workplace. Okay, so how this works then, so a specialist contracted assessor will discuss the needs with the customer and with the employer. They produce a detailed report with recommendations to overcome the specific barriers. The case manager will work with the customer to agree the best way forward, and all the solutions will be bespoke and individual to that individual person's needs. Sometimes we can provide support through a communicator. That will be through British Sign Language, and the ongoing support is available for as long as the customer needs it. So full details of how to apply are available online. We do have alternative ways of applying for people that might not be appropriate for. So we can do that by telephone and by email. And say these slides are available to be shared with you. I'm sorry I've rushed through that so quickly, but as I say, was conscious of time, but happy to answer any questions. Okay, thanks.
Thank you for that, Lorraine.
Hi, it's Jenny Simpson here. I'm a work experience coordinator from colleague Lydia. The question I have is, it's a specialised college for students with autism and additional learning needs. I'm looking to contact employers in regards to volunteering work. Is there a specific, like, I'm listening to the Pembroke one and it sounded amazing. Is that open to West Wales as well? Is that all councils?
I'm happy to answer that. It's Karen here from Pembrokeshire. The programme that we're running in Pembrokeshire is very much based in Pembrokeshire. It's something that we've developed out of our local learning disability strategy. We are starting to do work with the councils that surround us to bring the programme to those councils. But I am really happy to work with any local authority to support them to develop a similar programme and to give them the benefit of the knowledge that we've gained over the last 3 years and the pitfalls and how to avoid them, so that we can set it up across the whole of Wales. Because I really truly believe that as local authorities we should be leading on this.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
One more question I think we can take from Adele Morgan, who's asked how much work is done at school to prepare young people from work.
Again, I'm happy to give you the Pembrokeshire position. Currently, not a lot. But in Pembrokeshire, we are just about to start a pilot where we're looking at a real focus on work in schools. The new ALN Act will obviously change the focus on work across all educational settings. So that is changing the landscape and will change it over the next few years. But we're actually doing a pilot in Pembrokeshire starting in the next couple of weeks, where we're looking at working with local schools to change those aspirations and start thinking about work in schools. And we run a work experience programme here for Portfield School, which is the special needs school that sits on the same site as us. We've been doing that for the last 2 or 3 years, where we bring their older pupils into the workplace to allow them to experience work. But it's quite in pockets at the moment.
I'd like to thank all of our speakers today who have given us an insight into different organisations, and just to remind you of who they were: Angela, Geraint, Thomas, Sarah, Karen, Gareth, Emma and Lorraine. A huge thank you to you all. I'd also like to say a huge thank you again to our sponsors, which are Base, Drive, National Star, Careers Wales and Working Wales. I'd just like to say a huge thank you for having me as the chair, and a huge thank you to everyone who participated and took part, and I hope everyone enjoyed it and learned something maybe they didn't know beforehand. So thank you everybody, and goodbye.